Okay everybody, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Career Mode with Mods, and today we are doing a Munar mission. This is the first Munar mission I've recorded. I have done another one in the past, but it did not actually land on the moon. It was just a flyby for science. So here we go. I'm about to perform the burn that will get us to the moon, and as you can see I have my ComSat network completely done now. And after doing the Munar intersect burn, I'm now slowing myself down so that I'm around the moon. Okay, and we'll just turn around and burn the other way to slow ourselves down. And as you can see, I'm using procedural parts for the main tank here. And you can also see that the lander is now revealed, and it's quite an interesting design. I have little structural girders to keep it, keep the landing legs more spread out. And even though that this service module has plenty of fuel left, I get rid of it soon. Okay, now just slowing ourselves down even more so we land in this crater and bring up the surface tab open in Kerbal Engineer. And for landing, you want to make sure that you kill your horizontal speed by burning along the same line as your retrograde marker according to the surface, and I'm just doing some science here. So right now I'm still in orbit mode, which actually is a bit of a mistake. Like I switched to surface, and you want the retrograde marker to be at the top right there. So you're going straight down, and you just slow yourself down from there. Now you probably want to keep some horizontal speed for a little bit longer. It's more efficient to do it that way because gravity does not take away from your horizontal speed, it only takes away from your vertical speed. But it's not that big of a deal with that much fuel I have. And it's a bit of a rough landing. And after doing some initial science, we get off of ×4 mode and bring out Jeb to be the first Kerbal to walk on the moon. Very professional way of getting off. And he walks around, does a little bit of science before planting the flag. Still doing more science. And here we go. The first flag to be planted on the moon as a permanent marker of the first time that it's been done. And I named the site Munar 2. Is that 3? I can't see from here. And we landed this time. And it's StrutCo as usual. And later, after that, we do some more science and we test out the jetpacks and Jeb's piloting ability. And he just flies around, he comes in steep and almost kills himself, but he's fine. Not scratch. And he gets back in and falls and gets back in again. And shortly after getting back inside the lander, he takes off. And when you take off, you don't have to fire straight up like you normally do, as much like you do on Kerbin. The reason you go up so long on Kerbin before tilting sideways is because of the atmosphere. But since there's no atmosphere on the moon and the gravity is so low, you can go sideways almost immediately, which is the most efficient way to do this. And after we get high enough orbit, apoapsis, then we burn to circularize it, and shortly after that we set up a burn to come back to Kerbin. And when you do this, you want to not burn, you want to burn prograde so that when you escape you kind of go to the moon's retrograde. So you don't really So the moon, the moon has its orbit, and if you burn to the moon's retrograde, you'll slow down, according to Kerbin's. Does that make sense? It's like you burn the opposite direction, so that when you escape, you're going the opposite direction that the moon is going. And that's also what you do if you want to go to. You go to Kerbin's retrograde around the sun if you want to go to planets that are inner to the solar system, and you want to go to Kerbin's prograde relative to the sun when you want to go to planets that are further away. And here we're re-entering. And at this actual time, Jeb has about 56 minutes of food left, so I was cutting it very close here. So I want to get him home as quickly as possible, but at the same time I don't want to land on the night side. So I kind of negotiate my way around to the light side and still get him home. Now we're coming over the deserts. Now we're not going to actually land too close to mission control, but I think we'll get good value for this. Not to mention about 7 contracts from this, because I kind of lagged behind on contracts before doing this mission, so we'll get lots of money for this. And I actually go 4 times time acceleration in the game, so this goes faster. So in the end it's 8 times. And the parachutes deploy at 500 meters. Or maybe even 700, yeah, these are real chutes, so it's 700. And we recover the vessel, and as you can see we have 5 contracts done, not 7. So like things like science data from the surface and whatnot. And this episode is now done, so thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about some of the mods I'm using. If not, I'll try to cover them more. I definitely get into Kerbal KOS for scripting purposes in the future, and well, that's all for this episode, and thanks for watching.